What's up, YouTube? Pac-Man Trolls here with my brother's Werewolf deck tech video. As you guys can see, the background, it's whatever. This is 6 green Mount Forest mana. That's whatever. So 6 green Forest mana right here. As you guys can see. Then we have 8 red. It doesn't matter. I mess up in a lot of videos, so we have 8 red mana in the deck. Getting them as much as I possibly can for you guys. You can all see right there, 8 red. Then we have 4 Copperline Gorge. These cards, when they enter the battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or fewer other lands and they add red or green mana to your pool. 2 Kasig Wolf runs, adds 1 colorless mana to your pool, and a target creature gets +X attack until end of turn and gains trample. It's a 1 red, 1 green, and X amount of mana, so however much mana you tap and this card, it gets that much attack until end of turn with trample. And then we have the last bit of lands here, I believe. 4 Rootbound Crags. Enter the battlefield tapped unless you control a mountain or forest and add red or green mana to your pool. Rootbound Crags. That is the land base of the deck. Now we get into the creatures. We have 4 Reckless Waifs, which then transform into other cards. That is not the Reckless Waif. This is... At the beginning of each upkeep, if no spells were cast last turn, transform Reckless Wave. It's a 1/1, 1-drop red. It transforms into the one that I showed you earlier, this bad boy, a Merciless Predator. At the beginning of each upkeep, if a player casts 2 or more spells last turn, transform it, and it's a 3/2 Merciless Predator. So it turns into a 3/2. It's a good 1-drop to get out there right away and just start hitting them up. Another good 1-drop to have out there right away is the Wolf-Bitten Captive. We have 4 of these as well. I will show you what it transforms into with the other 2 cards. This is 1 green drop, and if you tap 1 green and colorless, it gets a +2/+2 until end of turn, and you can only activate it once per turn. It's a 1/1. Same thing as all werewolves. At the beginning of each upkeep, if no spells were cast, you transform it into this card right here. I'll show you guys it this way, to be honest. Crannel Horde Killer. Gets a +4/+4 if you tap 4 mana, 1 green, 3 colorless. And at the beginning of each upkeep, if a player casts 2 or more spells, you transform it back. It's a 2/2. It would become a 6/6 if you pay the mana to make it a 6/6 until end of turn. It's awesome. We have 4 Gatsoff Shepherd, which then transform into other epic badass cards. There's a 2-drop, 1 green, 1 colorless. It's a 2/2. Transforms into that. Intimidate. It's a Gets Off Howler. Intimidate and 3/3. So those are awesome. And then we have 4 of one of the other best werewolves in the deck. But it's not the best, in my opinion. Mayor of Averbrook. 2-drop, green, and a colorless. Other human creatures you control get a +1/+1. Transforms into Howlpack Alpha. Other werewolf and wolf creatures get a +1/+1 at the beginning of each upkeep and of each end step. Put a 2/2 green wolf token on the field. Turns into a 3/3. Originally being a 1/1. We have a Daybreak Ranger. Again, for these, 3-drop, 1 green, 2 colorless. It deals 2 damage to a target creature with flying when tapped. At the beginning of each upkeep, it transforms, and it's a 2/2 originally. It transforms into the Nightfall Predator, which you tap 1 red, and it fights a target creature you don't control, and it is a 4/4. As you guys can see. My god. My fingers are fat and they're just covering up the attacks. We have our 2 Emir Wolves. which are good cards. 3 drop, 1 red, 1 green, 1 colorless, Intimidate. Other werewolf and werewolf creatures you control get a +1/+1. Non-human werewolf creatures you control can't transform. 2/2. Crew and Outlaws, we have 4. I hope I got this right here. Cool. We have 3 drop, 2 red, 1 colorless. First strike, 2/2, transforms into that. Terror of Crew and Pass, double strike. Each werewolf creature you control can't be blocked except by 2 or more creatures. And transforms 3/3 double strike, 2 or more creatures. Oh. Last couple are coming up here. The best one in the deck, in my opinion, by far.
Yep.
Master of the Fells, 4 drop, 1 red, 1 green, 2 colorless. Wolf. Whenever this creature enters the battlefield or transforms into Huntmaster of the Fells, put a 2/2 green wolf token onto the battlefield and you gain 2 life. It's a 2/2, which then transforms into Ravager of the Fells, 4/4 with trample. And when it transforms into Ravager of the Fells, it deals 2 damage to a target opponent and 2 damage to a creature that player controls. Another pretty good card in the deck, 4 Instigator gains. And those are... Jesus, I can't do it. It's so bad. Through 4 drop, 1 red, 3 colorless. Attacking creatures get a +1, 2/3. Okay, cool. Trample, attacking creatures get a +3/+0, 5/5. Could you tell I'm nervous? I'm shaking like a leaf. Doesn't matter, I do it all the time. Mandarin Shaman, 4 drop. At the beginning of each copy, they transform. It's a 3/2 originally. 1 red, 3 colorless. Transforms into this. Tovalar's Mage Hunter. When an opponent casts a spell, it deals 2 damage to that player. 5/5. And now we have enchantments. Full Moon's Rise. 1 green, 1 colorless. When werewolf creatures you control get a +1 attack and have trample, sacrifice it, regenerate werewolf creatures you control. 2 of those. Go lay down. Brimstone Valley. 3 colors, 1 red, 2 colorless, and it deals 3 damage to a target creature or player. Has Morbid, so it deals 5 damage to that target creature or player instead if a creature dies this turn. Incinerate is our next card here. 1 red, 1 colorless, and it deals 3 damage to a target creature or player. A creature dealt damage this way can't be regenerated this turn. We have 4 of the most badass cards in this entire deck. Moon Mist. 1 green, 1 colorless. Transform all humans. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to this turn by creatures other than werewolves and wolves. Jesus. Noxious Revival. As you guys can see here. It can either be paid with 1 green or 2 life. Put a target card from a graveyard on top of its owner's library. Shock. We have 3, 1 red, drop, and it deals 2 damage to a target creature or player. And the final touch of the deck that we actually added in because we had trouble finding land and getting it out there in time. It was a big deck. It is a very big deck. You guys have to be aware of that. This helps a lot with the deck. And it is Rampant Growth. You guys have seen this in many of my videos. This is a green and a colorless, and it's search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, and shuffle. It's good for bad shuffles. It's good for getting land out. It's a great card to have in the deck, especially one this big, but this big deck works perfectly together. There's no point in discarding cards. It's a great card deck. If you want to make it, make it. If you don't, thank you for watching anyway. If you're a Magic the Gathering fan, I thank